Hi, this is Lisa Christiansen. Welcome to day 2 of NLP. I'm so excited about today. I had a different plan for what we were going to cover today. I had this mapped out in a way that I wanted to present it to you. And today, as you've noticed, I wanted to film on the top of Mount Scott. And for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that this is truly one of my favorite places in the world. It's just such a remarkable gift. And most of you know that I ride my bike up Mount Scott. And I don't come up Mount Scott very often in a vehicle. Well, I say not very often. Seldom. I really just never come up Mount Scott in a vehicle. I always do it on a bicycle, and when I'm on the bicycle riding up Mount Scott, I can just do that all day, all night, every day of the week. I love it. And I take that time and I can really just absorb all of the beauty and all of the sights and the sounds that are available to us and the gifts that God gives us and places in front of us along the way. And I thoroughly enjoy it. It's just such an enriching part of my life is to be able to come at Mount Scott, and I really find the appreciation in it because I can see Lake Latonka, Lake Letra, and it's just such a positive trigger and a positive anchor. And the reason I tell you that is anchoring and triggers are such a critical, crucial part of what is NLP. And for me, coming up Mount Scott is very positive, it's very enlightening, it's just a beautiful thing. And today as we were coming up it dawns on me, and I realized that because of the fact that we're bringing the camera up and so on and so forth, and it gets dark soon, and so it wasn't feasible to obviously do this on a bicycle. And I'm at the bottom, I'm at the base, and it just dawns on me, I thought, oh, we have to go up Mount Scott in a car. Really? And for those of you who don't know me very well, you'll notice that as I'm telling this story, you're probably wondering, why is she saying this? Going up Mount Scott in a car, the elevation is, I forget exactly what it is, and it's quite steep. I used to have trouble going up Mount Scott in a vehicle, and so today, because this is maybe the 5th time in my life that I've been up Mount Scott in a car, and I thought, oh, great, I get to utilize the art of NLP today. I get to reframe the way that I process what this means to me today. Because when I come up Mount Scott in a car, I'm not really sure if it's the falling part or if it's the hitting the ground part that bothers me. But definitely one of those two things bothers me about coming up it in a car. For whatever reason, I have it set in my head that coming up Mount Scott in a car, I can very quickly turn that into a situation that creates a lot of anxiety. And today I was able to have my own breakthrough and get past that, and it's just such a celebration. And so for those of you out there that have any kind of triggers that cause you anxiety, and for some of you, I don't know what that is, which is a strange thing, because for me, I love heights, I love to fly. There's so many things that I love about Mount Scott, and I really do. Many of you have seen me on a trapeze. I love these things, but driving up Mount Scott in a car, driving up, when you're going the ride at Iron Horse, for example, when you're going over Molass Pass or Coal Bank or any of those things, it's 2,600 vertical feet. And now, on a bicycle, I can do that. You stick me on there all day, all night, and I'm loving it. I thrive in it. But when you stick me in a car, I don't do it so good. And today was a day that I can celebrate because I have finally, just like I'm teaching you this process, I was able to utilize that breakthrough, and I'm so happy that I'm done with that. And I'm really excited to bring this to you, because that's another thing that you can do is, as I'm driving up the mountain today, the way that I was able to reframe this and create a new trigger for myself is I thought, okay, great, guess what? Today, I'm going to take that visual that I have of when I'm on the bicycle. I'm going to take that visual that I have, I'm going to close my eyes and just take a moment to appreciate the sights of Letra and the sights of Latonka and the trees and the rock that's shaped like a heart. That means I'm almost to the top. and I'm going to create that emotion that I have when I'm on the bicycle, and I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to make it brighter, and I'm going to make it closer, and I'm going to put it on a big screen, and I'm going to make it so big and so bright that all I can see is that emotion of elation and happiness and euphoria, and I'm just going to wrap myself and just swim in it, like just complete immersion. And it was just such an amazing, remarkable feeling that, you know, it's beautiful to know that we can do this with anything in our life. And so whatever negative triggers you have, you can take those and you can make them silly and play circus music to it, and you can make it further and more distant and create a black and white movie out of it. And one fun way to do it, you want to first visualize yourself in that moment when you were safe, before you felt that anxiety, and find that safety zone, and then picture yourself in like this movie theater where it's dark, and put it on a black and white screen, and make it, you know, really tiny, and remove yourself from yourself as if you're in a projection booth, and take that and then notice that you'll see yourself watching yourself on this little tiny black and white movie, and then, you know, freeze frame it so that at that moment, and you know, if you really take the time to do that, you'll notice that you're really not even in the picture, and it gives you a whole new perspective of where you're at. And once you do that, then you can again take it and go ahead and play the movie to the end, and find yourself in where you're back into that safety zone, and notice that nothing happened to you, nothing bad happened to you. You survived it. And then you can take, it's almost like editing, well, it is editing a movie, because really all of the things that we see in our mind, it's just a movie that we're playing. And whether you're really more visual or more auditory or more kinesthetic, everybody plays movies. And so you're going to edit that movie, and you're going to take the safe zone that you started with, and you're going to take the safe zone that you ended up with, where you've noticed that you're fine, and that chunk of time where you felt that anxiety, let's just cut that out of the movie, and let's just splice it together so that you no longer have that, and you can just break free from that and let it go. Just throw it away. And I think that is probably the most important thing that you can take away from today, is to be able to know and realize that you can do this with any situation, no matter what it is. You can do this at any given time. And when you're in a spin, I like to call it a spin, when you're in a spin and you're starting to make this negative situation bigger and brighter than it should be, you're making it worse than it is, you can take it and you can stop right there. Just stop and think of something that you really enjoy thinking about, something that you really enjoy doing. And for me, my happy moment where I feel the most alive, where I feel the most love and safety, where I feel the most, gosh, you know what it is? I always like to say that I come alive on the bike, and it's also where I live. I mean, the light comes on inside of me when I'm on a bicycle. And so for me, that's my moment of joy. And you know, you can have happiness and not have joy, and that's where I find both. I find my happiness and my joy, and I'm alive. And so when I find myself going into a spin, which, thank you God, doesn't happen very often anymore, because of the fact that I have learned this technology, I can take that and I can turn it into something very positive very quickly by just putting myself on a bicycle and putting myself riding up Mount Scott, and I make that picture bigger and brighter, and no matter what situation I'm in, I'm able to take moments that are not serving me and turn them into moments that are serving me, just by putting myself in a place where I come alive and where I enjoy being, which is on the bike, and which is right here at the top of Mount Scott. And so anyway, for today, that is my story that shares with you a little bit of detail about the art of NLP that we're going to continue forward with. And one of the things that you can do, I always say that I was going to give you 3 steps every day. So one of those things is I want you to identify something that's not serving you. Find something that does serve you so that you can replace that emotion. And use music to anchor it. Find something that's positive that you love to listen to, something that brings you alive, and play that music to create that positive anchor. And then I'll teach you a little bit more about how to do that on day 3. We'll talk a little bit more about how to create that anchor using positive music, positive emotion. And by the way, you always, one of the most important things that you can start your day with is something positive. So instead of turning on the news, instead of listening to something that's going to take you in a negative direction, why don't you start your day with putting on something inspirational, something very positive, some feel-good music, some happy thoughts, and because how you start your day is how your day is going to go. If you start your day happy, it doesn't matter what happens in your day, you're going to have a great day. And if you go into your day knowing that, with that frame of mind, you can create your own destiny. You can create your day. You can decide. I always say that life is a decision. How you feel is a decision. You can decide to feel good, or you can decide to be miserable. And personally, I choose to be happy. So choose and be happy, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Thank you.